Hello, my name is Michael Nunley, and today we're going to do number 1 in a 3-part special edition of the Art of Making Comics. I invited a special guest to come talk to you guys today. He is my friend and the Omen Comics printer here in Susanville. His name is Ted Kranz, and he's going to talk about what is involved in preparing the lettered artwork for submission to the printer. So with all that, I'm going to hand it over to you, Ted.
Welcome to Omen Comics. For all the artists that are working on comics, we'd like to take this opportunity to provide some information so you will be able to submit your comics for print. First, we're going to start with color. When designing, most of the artists out there that use pen or pencil or other mediums, we want you to be able to design with what you are comfortable with. But in order to do that, you need to understand the 2 different types of color modes so that you can submit your files properly. In the artist world, you guys work with RGB, which is red, blue, or green. In the print world, we work with cyan, yellow, magenta, and black. So when designing with color, make sure that you check your colors to see how they will turn out when they're converted from RGB to CMYK. One of the common problems that happens in color changes is the blues and the purples. You will notice that if you do bright blues or bright purples in your design, that when converted to CMYK, the colors may become dull. So it's important that you check your colors before submitting them. The other thing you have to look at is the amount of white space that you use. The white space that you either use in your photos or your artwork or the things that you're submitting. You want to make sure that there is enough space between objects so that your artwork, when it's converted, does not conflict with the colors. Second of all, in submitting your files, you need to also look at how they will be saved. Now, the average size of a comic is 6.833 by 10.325. You don't want to design the exact size because the printer will need to be able to shrink the file down to the size that's needed for the page. In the digital world, we use 11 by 17 that's then cut down so that your comic book comes out to a finished size. In the press world, the average size is 24 inches by 36 inches. So in deciding if you're going to have it digitally printed or press printed, it's important that you design accordingly. It's best if you design 1 to 2 inches larger than the image that will be needed. So if you are designing for a standard comic, make sure that you add extra 1 to 2 inches to make sure the image is large enough for shrinking down. The second thing in submitting your files or designing is to make sure that your artwork is saved properly. You want to use a format that does not compress the artwork that you have, which means you don't want losslessness or LZW or anything that compresses the file. Most printers prefer TIFFs or PDFs. The TIFF is the best format that maintains the best quality and the best colors. A PDF is acceptable as long as it isn't compressed. You don't want the file compressed because it can cause degradation and artifacting. When submitting your files, the second thing you need to do is make sure that you save them as individual pages. Do not save it as an entire book. Each page that you do, save as a single page and submit it that way. Your printer will put it together on their end. We appreciate you watching our video, and we thank you. Make sure you check out the second video on submitting your files.